Thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back, everyone, for episode 312 of the Massenomics podcast, a super special 6-year anniversary episode of the Massenomics podcast. Is that math right? 52 times 6 equals 312?
Definitely checks out.
Sounds good to me. Recorded live from Western, Northeast, South Dakota, just like the first 311 episodes. And my name is Tanner.
And my name is Tommy, number 58,738 on open powerlifting, top 2 of Massenomics podcast hosts.
Is that the right number on open
It
power?
is the right number.
Did you just look?
I had to check before today.
Oh.
I got to have a catchy line to bring me in.
Oh, nice. So just of the full list of everyone you were...
Yeah, I typed in my name and it was 58,738. Yeah.
Okay.
But top 2 Massenomics podcast hosts for
True.
sure.
True. What was it sorted by, dots?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which that's also kind of a trip. Like dots. I don't quite have my head wrapped around what the gauge for dots should be.
Me either.
I think you were 19,000 something, Tanner, so considerably higher on the list than me.
That's pretty good. I wouldn't have guessed that. I would have guessed what did you say you were? 50?
58, yeah.
I was like, maybe I'm 40-some thousand or something. Wow, I'm one of the top 20,000 powerlifters in the world
of all time. Yep. Pretty incredible.
It's really impressive. When
I
you think
got
about it
to
like that.
assume either one of us going up, well, probably even more so me because I'm so much farther behind, going up like 20 pounds in your total probably moves you up
moves you
thousands
5,000
of spots, like many thousands of spots.
Right. Yeah, probably true for everyone until you get into like the top 1,000 even,
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, so this is the 6-year anniversary for anyone that was keeping track at home, wondering if we were finally going to make it to the 6-year anniversary.
Here it is.
We made it. So we made it to 6. Do you think we'll make it to 7?
Yes.
Do you think we'll make it to 8?
Of course.
9?
10 is absolutely, it's 20 is the question, right?
Yeah. So
we're at 6, so we're definitely making it to 10.
we're closer to 10 than we are 1.
Than we are to 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is wild. You know what else is wild and cool and good?
What?
SPUD Ink straps.
Yes, they are.
SPUD-ink-straps.com is where you check them out. They're a sponsor of the show. They have been a long time. If you've been around for a while, you've heard us talk about SPUD Ink straps. And specifically this week, I wanted to talk about one of our personal favorite products of theirs. It is the bow tie.
Mm-hmm.
And here's a little rundown on the bow tie if you don't know. Shoulder pain? What shoulder pain? You've got it, and SPUD Ink can fix it. They teamed up with Donnie Thompson to create the bow tie, so no matter if you're a lifter wanting to prevent pain and injury or a desk worker who's tired of coming home in pain after a long day at the office, we have your solution. Get bow tied. And there's a few different options on the bow tie. You've got the formal, which is like I've got the formal bow tie. It's a little bit stiffer, and then you've also got the casual, which is
you want the stiffer one, right?
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of always been
you should do it. Right?
That's always been. You have the formal, I think.
I have the
too.
formal as well. Yeah.
That's always been my recommendation. Maybe there's a fair case to make for the casual, but I'm thinking if you're go with the formal.
I think so.
They're only $60, $59.99. It's a really good deal. I think you should try one. Almost everyone should have it in their toolkit, especially if you're someone that experiences like some pain maybe in your shoulders, and
or even
that's
just
all
some
of us.
tightness. And
Tightness. And maybe doesn't necessarily have to be pain, does it?
Yeah, I think you'd be surprised if you put it on. You're going to have a little more mobility there than you did before you put it on.
And maybe the best part, when you go to the site, the model picture for the bow tie, you can only see the guy's back, but it's a great photo
that I took of you, which is really funny to think about.
Yeah, like 7 years ago, 6 years ago,
one.
maybe. So yeah, bow tie, spud-ink-straps.com, and check out all the other products. They've got just about every strap and wrap under the sun that you could think of.
They do.
So thank you, SPUD Ink. Then also, who else should I talk about here today? I want to talk about the Strength Co. and our good friend Grant Brogy down in Southern California. He's a California man. They've been pumping out let's just not mince words about it. They're the best
Plates.
the best metal plates that money can buy at this point.
Notice
plates
you
for
didn't
your
say all
bar.
plates because we know there's some really good wood plates out there, right?
Like if I say
Didn't
metal
want-
plates, what does that
Had
even
to put some
exclude?
qualifiers on
Like
this.
rubber
because
ones, maybe
there's some really
yeah.
good wood and rubber plates out there,
There are bumper plates, like that
and
is
we're
a thing.
big connoisseurs
Yeah.
of bumper plates here.
But I just used some again today. I was deadlifting with some of their plates, and we can't help but go to them at Massenomics Gym.
Can't help it.
They are the go-to plates. They're actually relative to other plates that you could buy, or even the used plate market. In my opinion, they're very appropriately priced. Like they are reasonably priced. If you're looking for the most dirt cheap plates in the world that you can find, I wouldn't get these. But if you want the best plates that you can find for a very reasonable price, then that's when you would get the Strength Co plates.
Yeah, I might even make the argument here that it might be the only piece of your home gym / gym equipment list that you don't need to worry about upgrading after you do it.
That's
because
true.
you will be worried about upgrading bars.
Yep.
You're going to get a rack, and immediately you're going to be having buyer's remorse, thinking, "Oh, I should have got a 3x3, or I should have got a 4-post, or I should have got a 6-post, or I should have got even more posts." Well,
Like I want all the posts.
yeah, you're not going to have any buyer's remorse with these things.
No. And like in our supporting members, our Discord community, I start to get the feeling that everyone in there has the Strength Co
It's
plates.
starting to seem like if you want to be in the Discord, you have to have Strength Co plates.
It's like a requirement at this point, I guess. But there's a reason everyone's buying them. They look awesome, and they are awesome, and they're extremely accurate. Can't go wrong. Check it out at their website. Is it thestrengthco.com?
Mm-hmm. I mean, you know how everyone knows how Google works.
Yeah, just Google the Strength Co. Check them out.
You'll
Good,
get there.
Good stuff. So thanks to both of those sponsors here today. Now, Tommy, what was some of the other stuff we were going to talk about today?
Oh,
We got a list-
boy.
a bit of a laundry list, don't we? We're gonna have to pick and choose. We're on a weird week.
This is a very weird week.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be recording an episode tomorrow too.
Yeah.
And tomorrow during the day, like we're going to be recording 2 episodes within 16 hours of each other,
Right.
Which will be a first for us.
That'll really put our banter to the test, won't it?
It is going to put the banter. So we have a list of banter items here.
Yeah.
We're going to have to be selective so we don't use them all up.
First one, not even on the list. What about this daylight savings time? What do you think of that? Are you pro daylight savings time?
Well, I always get mixed up when people say,
Like, what is the regular thing and what is
are
the
we
exception?
on or off daylight savings time right now? I can never keep that straight in my head.
I think a lot of people have an opinion, but nobody knows the answer for sure.
I think
They'll-
did you
they'll say-
just describe everything that's
Yeah,
happening in the world right now?
Everyone thinks they know.
Everyone has an opinion.
Nobody
but
really
they
knows.
don't really know.
Yeah.
I guess I don't mind it being dark in the morning if it means I actually get to see light at night. I mean, it's already
Yeah.
for us. It's already dark in the morning. Like at
Right.
its worst, you don't see the daylight in the
Right.
morning anyways.
So you're saying what we're on right now is good.
I like this. I
Yes.
like being able to get home from work and see some light.
Yes, this is better.
I think it's much better. I do feel for the people that work outside and you got to spend your first. I thought I saw a chart that said where we live, there would be spots or there would be times in the winter where we won't have daylight until 9:30 or 10-ish.
Yeah, yeah.
Which
If
is
they
pretty
kept it on-
late.
if they kept it on this,
If they kept it on this, yeah, that's pretty late. But
Yeah. Also, being dark at 5 p.m. sucks too. So
it's like almost dark before 5
Right.
p.m. even.
right.
So I think I would.
But there is talk sometimes of switching.
Yeah,
not switching
isn't
back
there
and forth.
some bills out there of
Yeah.
people proposing that does?
All I remember is the Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill.
That's, I kind of think about that once in a while. How's that little Bill from the Schoolhouse Rock doing?
Are you pro Schoolhouse Rock or?
Wow, I haven't watched it in so long. I'm not really sure how it holds up. I'm thinking for the most part they probably had their head in the right spots on those things.
That's
they?
got to be the. That's the most popular Schoolhouse Rock, I think, right? I mean, that's not the
Probably.
only one, but
I couldn't name another one.
yeah, I'm struggling. I feel like I do know some other ones and can't think of any other ones off the top of my head.
Maybe if I saw them,
Yeah.
they would come back to me. But the Bill one
Right.
is the only one I remember it all.
Yeah. And why that one?
I don't know.
About a bill, the process of a bill becoming a law.
Yeah,
Why would
was
that be
it just
the one
every
that's-
teacher was like, "Oh, this is so boring to explain. Like, we'll just go to the video."
Yeah.
But I don't even know if I remember watching it in school. Even I don't know. Everyone
Yeah.
just knows that one.
Everyone
for some
just
reason.
knows it. Everyone just knows it. But so daylight savings time, or what we're on right now is all right.
I like Spring Ahead.
I think there's is it in Arizona or
They just don't do it.
Yeah, is it the whole state or just part of the state?
I think it's most of the state.
Okay.
Arizona doesn't, and is it Hawaii doesn't either? And I
Okay.
think there's maybe a couple other like small areas that
Okay.
don't. But I could live with this.
Okay. Well, that was my not specifically weather, not specifically agricultural, but not completely away from those things either.
Yes, it's all
adjacent.
connected.
Yeah.
It's all intertwined. We've had some March Madness going on here.
Oh,
lately,
it's been
Tanner.
pure madness.
Is your bracket busted?
I did not even I've kind of been on a thing of not filling out brackets just to
Really?
I just trying not to participate in things with people
Oh.
like that. So
Okay.
making a real strong stand of like not getting involved in like
Well-
my work things.
Well,
you know?
the one I have is with my father-in-law and my wife and her sister. So
My wife.
there's 4 of us in it. So it's a
Okay.
very, very intense
Yeah,
bracket
yeah.
pool that I'm in. But I don't even know where I'm at in the standings right now.
I have been following March a lot. I've watched a lot of the games, but like to me saying I don't have a bracket doesn't mean I'm not interested. I'm still me and my son have been catching all the games that we possibly can, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm just don't actually have a bracket. I'm loving watching the 15 seed out of New Jersey. What's the Saint something? Whatever
The
they are.
Peacocks, right?
Yeah, I can't remember, but I watched that.
Is it Providence? Is that what they are?
No, because that's another. I think Providence was also in there.
Or is that who played SDSU?
That's
is that
who
why I'm
played
getting
SDSU.
mixed up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of their names. That's how close I paid attention to it. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, SDSU got bounced in the first round.
They did.
Although USD, my alma
so that
mater,
was I was going to say. That was where I was
Yeah.
going to go with this. So now that we're
yeah.
done with the men's side, the women's side. South
I'm a
Dakota's-
graduate of Go Yotes. Anyways,
Yeah.
to be fair, I am not a Jackrabbits fan. I always choose to root for the Coyotes. So they're kind of kicking ass. They are number 2. They won their first. They're 10 seed. The USD women. They beat what's the 10 seed play? The 7 in the first round, and then they played number 2 Baylor.
Yeah, Baylor.
And they beat Baylor by like 10, 15 points.
They were up. I don't know if they were ever not in the lead that entire game.
Right, but now they play another high seed. I can't remember how that bracket works. And then if they win the Sweet 16 round, odds are they would play number 1 seed Louisville.
Yeah.
Which I don't really know that much about women's.
A lot of times, and the men are the same. Women especially, like the 1 seeds are like usually really good.
Right, where it's like, yeah. So, but they are kind of kicking butt, so that's cool.
Yeah, that was probably the most of a women's game I've watched, maybe ever. But it was I was entertained.
Yeah.
South Dakota, making things happen. I'm just trying to find the name of that, and I can't talk and look at names at the same time, so I can't find whoever we were talking about there.
I can't scratch my head and rub my belly at the same time, or what is the thing you like pat to your head?
Yeah, you do
pat
you pat
and
your head
circle.
and circle your belly at the same time.
Can you do that?
It's not easy.
If you really think about it long enough, you can get it down a little bit.
I think I would struggle doing it the other. It's trickier for me to do with my left hand on top of my head, pat your head with my left hand, and rub my belly.
Oh no, that's my. Or wait,
I want to pat my head with my.
Oh no, I'm
like,
the opposite. Yeah,
like that's not. I can tell I can have my right hand patting my head and spinning on my belly, no problem. But I flip it around, and all of a sudden that left hand wants to spin. It's not easy for me.
Someone in the Discord said we pay money to watch them do this.
Yes, you did.
But I guarantee a lot of people that just listen to this
are doing that right now.
That,
there's definitely people driving in their car and their knees are holding the wheel, and while their knees are holding the wheel, they're patting their head and rubbing their belly. It's
or trying to,
or trying desperately to do that, pulling over their car just so they can get in on that action.
Yeah,
a real test of intelligence there. Tanner, you recently went to an NBA game.
Yeah, I just got back from there this weekend on Saturday night. We took in the Timberwolves versus the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, the Bucks from Milwaukee, which actually it was closer for the Bucks team to the game than it was for me, actually.
Mm-hmm. You know, we're way
Interesting
out in the
fact.
Great Plains here.
It was about a half hour farther drive. I assume they flew in anyways. but
Probably.
For most of their fans, it was a closer drive than it was for me to the game. It was a sellout crowd. The Timberwolves are making a bit of a go at it this year. They're almost perennially awful since like KG
Did
left.
I see this is the second time since I think it said 2006 that they have a winning season?
Yeah, and what I mean,
It's
what
almost
KG
20
left-
years.
Yeah, right.
You get 2 winning seasons in 20 years.
Right. They were pretty sick for a while there with Kevin Garnett, Latrell Sprewell, Sam Cassell.
Yeah.
Can't remember who else was all on those teams, but they had some sick teams. Kevin Garnett was arguably one of the best players in the NFL or in the NBA for a while there, and it's been very downhill since then.
Mm-hmm.
But they kind of got a team. Then my son's super into basketball.
And this is the first NBA game you've gone to like in a very long time.
The last one I went to was a Timberwolves game when LeBron was in it was the Heatles.
So yeah, that's
LeBron,
been
D Wade, and Chris Bosh. It was like 2011.
Yeah, right around there.
It's been 10 years at least. But so it was really cool. It was a sellout crowd, and we got there super early just to
Take it all in.
Try to get my money's worth, basically. Be like, if I'm spending this much on this trip, we're going to, just get
Take in the whole
get
experience.
as much out of it. Probably the most noteworthy thing, though, the funniest thing was we were standing there right above one of the walk-in and out tunnels, just on the top of it. This was at least an hour before the game, and I looked down out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, that guy that just walked by, I'm pretty sure that was Alex Rodriguez. And I'm like, that's so weird.
Did he get drafted by the
I'm like,
Timberwolves?
why would Alex Rodriguez be here? But he's very unmistakable. I'm like, he's, hard to confuse someone with him. And I grabbed my phone quick because I'm like, am I remembering right, or am I just making this up in my head right now that Alex Rodriguez bought part of the Timberwolves? Because that would explain what's going on here. And I Googled it real quick, and it's like, yep, he bought part of the T-Wolves recently.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Yeah, and then I'm like,
oh,
that actually was Alex Rodriguez then. And, that he walked back out and we yelled at him and stuff. But he was the most noteworthy person out there. That really caught me off guard at the
it's
time.
not like
I'm
the Lakers game where it's like, oh, who's in
right,
the crowd?
Right. When in Minneapolis, it's not often that you see like a lot of stars like that on the sidelines, and it was kind of cool.
Does the NBA entertainment wise put on a good product?
It was awesome.
Outside of even just the game, there's other excitement going on.
Yeah, there was. It was, they do a great job of in between getting things going on, and some of the dangerous ass stuff that goes on there, the wild acts and like those people that jump on the trampolines that do
like,
those dunks.
This is like a circus.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly was like a circus show, and yeah, it's really good. There's a lot going on at one of those games, but me and my son are both big basketball fans, so we're gonna be entertained anyways. But it was cool. It was worth it.
Yeah. It's been probably, when you said you were going, I was thinking probably 5 years since I went to one, and they were not good then. It was not we went on bobblehead night though. I think I have a Ricky Rubio bobblehead.
Also, tickets for NBA games used to be like $40.
Oh, like really cheap. I remember one year we went, it was, and this was when they sucked really bad, so they probably did anything they could, but included in the ticket price was all you could eat concessions. Just because I'm sure they're trying to sell stuff, Right. But I don't think we paid more than like $60 for those.
And it's not like that anymore, I would say. No. But made me think I'm going to probably go to at least one NFL, or I'm going to go to one NFL game this year too, just because it's been maybe like 5 years since I've been to an NFL game. I don't know if I'm for sure going to go to Minneapolis. Going to wait and see what
the thing about them is they do have an awesome venue. Like it is awesome. It is awesome. Have you been in there yet?
Yeah, I went to. It must have been like the first or second year that it.
Okay, I couldn't remember if we talked about it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is a really cool place. But after you have gone, then,
well, that's why I'm like I kind of maybe think we'd maybe go to Denver just because cool. I haven't been to a game there.
Kansas City's not far away either.
Like, yeah, can you even get tickets to go to a Chiefs game?
That's probably not easy.
Right. So that's sports.
Sports, man. We are covering the sports today. Let's do some fizzy bubbly.
Oh, all right.
This isn't a what's in the can. I think we've had this one.
You don't have to twist my arm for fizzy bubbly.
Did
you see Repeatonomics this week? posting a lot of the original
The origin stories of the Fizzy
episode 124
Actually,
where I brought a LaCroix.
Repeatonomics is in the Discord right now.
Yeah.
We can verify that is in fact Repeatonomics
Yep.
to the best of our knowledge. And also to the best of our knowledge, we have maybe a possible hint of who it is, of who Repeatonomics is. And
Yeah.
turns out it's someone we don't know.
Yeah.
The Discord was a little concerned about that earlier. They
Do you
were
think
making comments about that.
Maybe they're the mole.
Mm.
We actually, speaking of mole talk, so we have this mole embedded in our supporting membership Discord crew that nobody knows the identity of, and we're just can't reveal too much yet. And specifically, we can't reveal who the mole is. But we were talking about our plans for
And we will say
big reveal.
we do have the date picked out for the
Yes.
reveal of the mole, and we're
Yeah.
very excited for it.
Yeah.
I'll just say
And
this:
we've got some things planned around it.
it's
gonna be-
happening within the next 365 days. The mole will be
Yes.
revealed.
It will be within the next 6 years of us podcasting.
It's gonna be cool though. I'm very excited for it.
Maybe we'll put the mole on a billboard. Like that will be the reveal.
Just
is
put
like
them on.
putting a giant.
That's
sheet
all it
on
was.
and
We just talked about how there's a mole and just put them on a billboard, and that was it.
So that'll be soon.
Yeah. So stay tuned
I've got it
for the reveal.
I've got a special little game for our 6-year podcasting, but I wonder if we should save that. Should we do that now, or
No.
so let's save that for next episode?
Yeah, because we also have a sack to talk about here.
Maybe? Yeah.
And
We need to talk about the boxing.
we do
match for
more
sure.
sports. Okay, we thought we were done with sports, and we're right back in it.
We're just getting started on sports.
Right back in it. So the Thor Eddie fight was this weekend, which how many years has this been hyped up now?
I mean, I would say 2, give or take. Maybe it hasn't been a full 2, but
way too long.
yeah.
For however long it was way too long. And it's really easy to talk about boxing when you know nothing about it. So we'll get that out of the way right away.
Yeah.
But
Full disclosure, we do not know anything about boxing.
just like how lower level sports aren't as exciting to watch as the high level sports, people that don't box, I don't care how good they are at other stuff, it's still not exciting to watch, right?
I think that's kind of true.
Especially Eddie Hall, like his boxing was non-existent.
Did you watch? So did you watch?
I tried to catch some of it on my phone,
Okay.
and then it started to get a little. I watched like the first 3 rounds,
Okay.
and then it started to get kind of weird. We were
live stream.
We were on the road, so I probably just cell service in Western
with
North
everything
South
going
Dakota
on,
is.
yeah.
So then it started chopping ahead, and then I'd see Eddie get punched in the head, and I saw Thor fall down once, and then all of a sudden it's like the end, and that was it. But man, watching those first 3 rounds it was just Eddie kind of standing there ready to make a really big swing. Thor kind of looked like a boxer. I mean, they both look way too big to be boxers.
Right.
But you do realize after seeing guys that look so unnatural boxing, how talented guys that actually go in the ring, how easy they do make it look.
Right. I didn't get to watch I was at the game in
Oh, yeah,
Minneapolis actually, so I wasn't gonna carry around my phone to watch this. This when I had people actually doing a sport
That was the right
are
move.
good. But I did catch a
There's
number of the
enough
highlights and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, just physically, like the appearance and somewhat of what I saw of them moving, Thor looked a lot. Thor looked like he's been
guy that has
spending
been
the
doing
last
some- yes, he
2
did.
years trying to be a boxer. I mean, it's just that he hasn't spent the last 20 years.
Well, and that
like-
also shows that even I would assume he was devoting quite a bit of time to this over the past 2 years.
Yeah.
And even then, still doesn't look like
No.
you can put 2 years of a lot of time and effort into it and still not look very natural.
Right. No,
doing
like
it.
from what I saw looking at it, that was what I thought. I'm like, oh, he's definitely been trying to be able to do this. And like, thank God it did get pushed out back farther. Imagine if they would have done this like
a
6
year
months
ago or
yeah,
whatever that
right.
day was. Oh,
Right.
I would think that would have looked even worse. I mean, Eddie probably would look the same, but Thor's boxing probably would have looked.
Thor also just, granted, he's a much different body type. He's 6'9" or whatever he is, but he looked like he physically got prepared specifically for boxing a little bit better, right? Like Eddie
conditioned?
still looked like very
Large?
yeah, right.
I know. Yeah. How much money do you think was exchanged in this whole thing?
I thought they each got $1 million.
Really?
I don't know. That's just what I actually have no.
That's surprising that there's actually enough interest there
Yeah.
for that to pay out to them, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't know where that money comes from. Like where it's like,
Or was there just some
because
rich
the live
guys that are
stream
like,
was free, right?
yes, that's where I don't understand. I get their sponsors and stuff, but really sponsors put $1 million into this or this
Yeah.
promotion or whoever.
I don't know. I was curious to see if anybody said what they got, but I don't know. I heard that once that they each got $1 million, but that sounds like something someone would just say too, like, oh, they each got $1 million.
Yeah, it just goes right back to the whole thing. I think we've talked about this off and on over the past year or two. Is anytime there's these celebrity fights, celebrity boxing things, they're never, to me, that exciting.
No, you know what I really like to watch Strongman do?
Strongman stuff. Yeah.
Now, if those two were doing a head-to-head Strongman competition,
man, now we'd
like
have
next year, if
something.
it was like, all right, with these 3 events, and we're both training for it for a year here, and like I'm mad at you, you're mad at me, we're gonna see who can.
Yep. Oh, we have a problem with that deadlift record. Okay, we're both gonna take.
Right.
Well,
I'd be like, now that would
like maybe they're not going after the record, but all right, they'll decide on that day who's the star.
Yeah.
That would be way more fun.
that would be pretty entertaining. Do you think they're gonna do a rematch?
I don't know.
I mean, if they did get $1 million, and if someone's going to give it to them again,
Then yeah, it's
they're
in their
going to do a
best financial
rematch.
interest to
Yeah.
definitely do it. I think a lot of the crowd would be very checked out on a rematch after they saw this first one.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hope they don't do it anymore. I'm curious what they're gonna do. So, like, are they gonna like is Thor?
Now that the
Thor did
fighting
look
angles-
like he kind of has been learning how to box. Like, is like after that, you're like, well, that's enough of that. Like, I assume he's been training for that every single day for the last 2 years. You know,
But does he really?
Like, yeah,
want
but
to,
there's
like,
still
5
is there a
years from now
future
fight
of that?
Tyson Fury?
Right.
Is that on his list of things he wants to do?
Well, and like, is that even like remotely an expectation that could be? You know, I don't
it
think.
doesn't seem like that's a road
Yeah.
that could ever happen.
But like, I saw that. What's that Ford guy? He's got all the tattoos. I think he's like Thor's height. He's in movies and he's a bad guy.
Oh, yeah. I know who you're talking about.
Martin Ford, is that what it is? It's Martin Ford, I think, pretty
Okay.
sure. And you know, I saw him say something about like, oh, they're gonna fight. They could fight each other next. I'm like, suppose they could do that. You know, they could go through this whole thing and pipe up these 2 guys, and they're both 6'9". You know, they're both enormous. So
Yeah, it's just not that exciting still.
right. No, I agree. I haven't seen Eddie say too much after it. I did say like the one post or something I saw of Eddie. He did kind of, you know, didn't seem to be making all that many excuses or anything. But
Yeah.
he did have to slip that one thing in there about like how, you know, I just fighted the biggest guy on the planet. You
I
know,
did see
like,
that,
or
yeah.
it's like almost like it's, you know, this guy's much bigger than me,
Yeah,
so of
I'm
course
at a-
he should
I'm
win.
at a disadvantage
right,
here, yeah.
right?
Yeah, he did. I thought he owned up to it better than what I would have guessed.
Yeah.
Leading up to it, how they had their hype building and everything, but I'm sure they got paid something.
Yeah.
So they're probably like, fuck it, it's done. Yep, got my money, go home.
The other, as long as we're talking about strongman, kind of. The thing I heard, it was actually Shaw. I heard him talking about this, how World's Strongest Man's coming up real soon. It's in like May. It's in Sacramento again this year. Is it May or? I think it might
Yeah,
be
it's always
May.
been May or June, hasn't it?
I think that's when it is, and they still don't know the events.
Oh,
Like they don't release the events to them yet. And I think I saw something about Shaw being like, that's stupid. Give us the events. So like it's like a safety issue even at like with the amount the weight that we're all moving around, we need to know so we can specifically be training those things so that we're not getting injured because of it. I just wondered, what do you think of that? Do you like
I feel like this is one you have a way different perspective on when you're a high level competitor.
right?
Because yeah, as a high level, if I'm there competing, yeah, I want every advantage I can to prepare on as close to that implement as I
Right,
can. So I'm good, and yeah, whether it's, I mean, safety is a big part of it, and obviously competitive advantage is a huge part of it. But as a spectator, it's kind of like, well, let's just throw these guys
Yeah.
the wolves and see what happens.
Right,
right?
right.
Isn't that what you kind of want?
Yeah, especially kind of in strongman because it's almost somewhat the original point.
Yeah, you want them to be kind of caught off guard.
Right,
Isn't that kind of
right.
boring when they, no, for the most part, exactly what weights they're going to be doing and on what style of bar, what type of implement, and they get to practice it exactly. Doesn't it take a little bit of the wild card factor out of it?
And if nobody gets to know, then isn't it the playing field still even because nobody gets to?
It feels like you could make that argument.
But does Shaw have a point that it's actually unsafe?
Well, especially when he's old.
Well,
he's
right,
older.
for him.
So,
Well, and he gets hurt. There's a 50% chance he'll get hurt. I mean, realistically, if you take the last 4 years or 4 times, there's a fair chance he's going to get some sort of at least moderate injury.
well, any of them, honestly.
right. Yeah. Right.
I totally get that athlete part of it of wanting to know. Are any of the other ones saying anything, though, that you've known of?
Not really. I haven't really looked and listened.
I feel
closely,
that
but-
plays to the young man's game, though, of I'm young and spry.
Right. Like
And
Tom
I
Soltman
can
says,
Tom Soltman's probably like,
probably,
don't tell us anything till the day
he's
of.
like, I'll do any of these events, like whatever. And Shaw's like, I want to do that exact thing.
well, that's
to,
yes, because so many of them. That has to be a big thing that's changed in strongman in the last 10 years, right? Is how much these guys prepare.
Right.
Exactly.
Just the almost like the somewhat standardization of equipment.
Right.
first of
Like
all,
they're almost building the things ahead of
Right.
time and just practice it. So then they go
Right.
there. It's just like it's another day.
Right.
Where I don't know. I don't know enough about the inner workings of World's Strongest Man, but
I
part of you thinks
yeah.
that back in, like, let's just say the year 2000, were they getting these things 6 months ahead of time and then having access to like build these implements? And do
I mean,
them
a lot
exactly?
of the people, and it's also just the evolution of the sport, but a lot of the people competing didn't have any of the stuff.
right.
Like
You
they
just
weren't
trained
like,
to, like weights
right,
and like made sure you had a strong grip and then showed up.
Right.
Yeah. I could see where I think maybe a safe, where I could see a safe compromise, because I do think that is part of strongman, is like sort of that element of surprise. I think what could be a cool thing of there's a possible pool of like, let's say there's, because what do they do over the course of World's Strongest Men? Is it 3 days or how?
Yeah. Well, because they
there's
have
the
the
qualifiers.
qualifiers, like that's probably 2 days. And then they get like, I don't know if they get a day break or don't
But
get
let's
a day
just say
break.
if they
and
do
have like
6,
2 or 3
do
days.
they do like 6-ish events, something like that?
Well, in the heats, they would do like, 5 or 6 or whatever. And then in the finals, they would do another 5. So maybe they do 10 events.
So they do 10
altogether.
events.
Yeah.
All right, let's give them a pool of like, I don't know, 16-ish events. Like, here's 16 events. You have a pretty good idea of probably what's going to happen for a lot of these, but also we might change this other one out. I think that could be a fair compromise.
Yep. Well, I think they always end up changing a little bit anyways, just the nature of, like, they're like, oh, yeah, we actually, that thing doesn't weigh 700 pounds. It weighs 900 pounds.
The tire weight was all off.
Yeah, right. I'm like, we're not flipping it 4 times. We're flipping it 12.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch something, now that Eddie Hall has this almost like documentary style, 3-part documentary thing out on his YouTube that he put out just prior to the fight. And it's about the 2017 World's Strongest Man competition.
Yeah,
where
you were saying that.
Where Eddie wins and Thor, I mean, we talked about this back at the time on the podcast. I remember, Thor was mad about the Viking press event. They called him for jerking or double dipping or a second knee bend or whatever you want to call that. And it's a pretty good little YouTube documentary thing about that event. And they showed some pretty interesting behind the scenes stuff. And we know Colin Bryce, we've been kind of working on getting him on the podcast, and he kind of runs World's Strongest Man, at least parts of it. And he was running the events, and they're showing the like behind the stage area getting ready for this tire flip event. And Shaw and a couple of other guys were very adamant that 6 flips was not near enough. Like, it wasn't for the weight of this tire. It needed to be much more.
Oh.
And they argue, like, I was just surprised at the level of input that the athletes were allowed to have
over how the event
minutes
should be
before the events. And like, I'd be like, this would be at the NFL game if like
the Super
they're
Bowl.
like, nah, you should be like, if you got one knee down, you can still throw a touchdown pass.
Yeah.
And
These are like the fundamental rules of how this is going to work.
and like it ended with Colin, like some like Laws was like, oh, Colin, you got to make a decision here. And he just screamed. He was like, that's it. I already made the decision, and like stormed away from them because like, because like these other guys, like Shaw especially, would not give up on trying to get him to change, alter the event a little bit. And it was just that realization of like how these guys are getting to try to influence the event right before they do it.
Yeah, it seems like that would never happen.
Right.
The more you know, I guess.
But it's a good watch. I would recommend that.
Yeah, I gotta get that on the list.
Right. Speaking of things that we're watching, we had a new film in the gym.
Well, do we want to talk about that now, Tanner? We're kind of.
Oh wait, no, actually no.
We might
need
save that one for tomorrow.
We better save that for teaser.
But what I'm not going to tease you with is who this episode's brought to you by. This episode is brought to you by Swisslink. In 1995, Maurice Big Mo Huffman founded
Big Mo.
Swisslink. He had a partner based in Switzerland, and their mission was to bring authentic Swiss Army goods to the United States and into the hands of those yearning for quality gear at uncompromised prices. Over the years, that mission expanded to nations across Europe and beyond. Now, for nearly 3 decades, Big Mo has been traveling far and wide in search of the best items from military forces around the world. Big Mo doesn't only find authentic military clothing for Swisslink. He brings in everything you can imagine, from Czech Army bedpans to Italian champagne glasses. At Swisslink.com, you can find classic military surplus uniforms, a great selection of military-issue backpacks, tools, wool blankets, NATO fuel cans, gas masks, emergency food, first aid kits, survival packs, camping gear, and so much more. Swisslink's unrivaled collection and dedication to quality customer service sets them apart from the rest. Treat yourself to the real thing with authentic military surplus and save 15% off your first order from Swisslink.com with the code MASS at checkout. That's MASS to save 15% at Swisslink.com. SWISSLINK.com. Thank you, Swisslink.
That the beginning of that ad always reminds me of that's some people call me Maurice. Steve Miller Band. What is it? I'm a
Gangster
Joker.
Love.
It's a joke. It's I'm a Joker, the Joker,
Is it the
Joker,
Joker?
or something like
I
that.
think it's
Steve
the Joker,
Miller Band. Yeah.
God.
Some people call me Maurice.
Yep. That is I really like Steve Miller Band.
Yeah.
Steve Miller Band's good.
Yeah. Good stuff. Were you going to do another one, or should we roll into?
Maybe we'll just
Yeah.
do 2 at the end then.
Yeah. Yep. I
All
gotcha.
right.
We're on the same page. I didn't actually need to ask that. No,
Yeah.
I kind of messed up our flow here.
Okay. Bye, Discord.
Bye, Discord. Oh,
Oh, we forgot supporting our supporting
yeah. We better
members.
do supporting our supporting members real quick.
Can't leave that
Yeah.
hanging.
So supporting our supporting members, it's a relatively new segment we do here on the podcast where we give a little love back for those that love us, our supporting member crew. You can also get in on the crew if you go to, what is it, Massenomics.com/join. You can find out more about our supporting membership.
What some people at the Discord HQ, I think Discord put it in their company earnings statement, is that they're shocked at how active this Discord is.
It really is an active community.
There's like a revolt happening in one server.
Well, and what's happened overall with this Discord community, our supporting members, is what the sum of all of our fears has come true. The inmates have started to run the asylum. It's what we always feared would happen, and now the inmates are officially running the asylum. But to give a shout out to a few of our, what we're going to do this episode is shout out some of our new supporting members. So some of our recent additions over the month of March here. So thank you, Big Luca. Thank you, Big Richard. Thank you, Big Jace. Thank you, Big Cameron of Cock Sauce. Yeah. Thank you.
He knows tasty things.
Yeah, and he knows the Discord. Thank you, Big Kyle. Thank you, Big James. Thank you, Big Brian. Thank you, Big Andrew. Thank you, Big Quinn. Thank you, Big Connor of the Strength Co. Thank you, Big James. And thank you, Big Lance.
That is a ragtag bunch
Yeah,
that
thanks,
you want
guys.
in your Discord.
Thanks for supporting.
Yeah. Making dreams come true.
Yep. There's Big Quinn. He was listening live this week.
Big Jeff said he's going to have to drop his supporting membership, then rejoin for the shout out. But I just gave him a shout out right now, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
Yes. Big Jeff, our financial planner of the Discord. The Discord community comes with the free access to a financial planner, Big Jeffy.
And he says, "My name is Jeff." El Jefe. But yeah, free consultations in the Discord from a certified financial planner.
There is a
He has nothing to lose. You have everything to gain.
There's a discount code in there and some other things. So come join up. We'd love to have you. It's a fun group.
Very active community.
I don't care what we say about them when the cameras are off. They're not that bad.
All right, bye Discord.
Now, should we get our guests on the line?
Let's get
We
our
do
guests
not
on the
know
line.
the name of this person.
We don't. This would be a real wild
So,
card for us.
That'll be fun. Let's do it. Be a wild adventure. Hopefully.
What up?
Is this the man behind Dark Iron Gains?
Yes, it is.
Excellent. You're on the Massenomics podcast with Tanner and Tommy.
What's up?
Awesome, man. Yeah. 1 second.
Sounds like you got a little dog going crazy back there.
Yeah, she was tripping out.
What kind of dog?
It's a toy schnauzer. She trips. She basically trips out like whenever I move anywhere.
That's kind of in the same line as what Tanner has.
Yeah,
for a dog.
I've got a little kick me dog myself. So
Nice. Yeah. She's always tripping out anytime someone walks by the house.
So you run the account Dark Iron Gains. So do you reveal your name? Like, is your name a secret or is it public knowledge?
It's not really a secret, but it's also not really public. I mean, a few people, I guess, figured it out, but I kind of keep it low key.
So should we just call you Mr. Dark Iron Gains, or should we go by a different name for this one?
People usually, so they shorten it to Iron Gains. So usually people will call me Iron Gains.
Okay.
All right, that's what we'll call you.
Or you can also call me Q.
Okay.
Q. Okay. So that's a little. That's almost James Bondy.
Yeah. So
I might prefer to call you by your full name, Dark Iron Gains.
Keep it.
oh
official.
yeah, that's a good one too.
Okay.
People call me that too.
Okay.
Just call me whatever you want.
All right, perfect. Well, we are excited to get you on. We've had a few people, we've done a few of these with
people that run accounts.
right, where we don't know their names going into it. Oftentimes we have a lot of, I don't know if you're familiar with our podcast or not, but a lot of times we have lifters on and some things like that. But we have done this before where we have people that just run accounts that we really don't know who they are, and it makes for some pretty interesting interviews sometimes. So we're excited for it.
Yeah, man. I did hear about your guys' podcast. I've known about it for a while. One of my lifting buddies, actually, a dude I used to lift with a lot. He showed me your page. Like, he would always tag my personal account on y'all stuff, and so it just so happened that one day I followed y'all from my Dark Iron page. And then you guys followed back, and I was like, "Oh snap! Oh,
Yeah,
the worlds are starting to collide." And it's funny.
this is what it's like when worlds collide.
Yeah, Power Man 5000 for real. But my homie doesn't even know. I haven't told anybody that I'm doing y'all's podcast, so he's probably gonna trip out.
Awesome. Yeah, I like that. So normally when we interview someone, they're usually well off or well known enough, or if they're not, you can just Google and find out things about them, so we don't have to get any backstory. Do you want to go into any backstory on who you are at all?
Or do we just want to?
I'm cool with that.
So where are you in? I'm assuming you're in America, right?
I'm in Croatia. I'm just kidding. No, I'm in America.
Have you been lifting a long time?
Actually, yeah, I've been lifting for actually probably too long for how little strength I have.
Haven't we all?
Yeah, I started lifting when I was like seriously lifting. I started probably in 2011 or so, and I've been basically lifting ever since.
And what would you categorize as the training that you do? What style of training are you into?
So when I first started, I was really into like bodybuilding, that was coming off of like the Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman rivalries,
Absolutely.
and then leading into like the Kai Green, Phil Heath era of stuff. So I was really into like more like high volume training. And I would watch like all those like bodybuilding, like old school YouTube bodybuilding videos, you know, where they'd have like new metal and like stuff like that, like Creed and be like dudes just screaming. And so I would watch a lot of that. And so I just focused my training on a lot of high volume stuff. And I did that for a really long time, for like maybe like 6 or 7 years. And volume was good, but you know, where I made my mistake was I wasn't focusing on any compounds. And so once I started really focusing on compounds, I actually started seeing the results I wanted to see.
Right.
I guess now I take more of like I'm still really into bodybuilding, but I think with my training, I take more of a powerlifting approach.
That makes sense. And I think like, you know, that powerlifting stuff had, you know, over the, like, say the last 10 years, where you're talking about training, that became much more mainstream.
Oh,
like,
even in 2011,
like,
if you said you're doing powerlifting stuff, most people wouldn't actually know what you were talking about.
Right,
you know?
right. Where that's much different now.
Yeah. They would 2011. They would just think like I was like a fat guy trying to lift heavy if I said I was a powerlifter.
Right.
But now you have guys that are just like stacked. You know what I mean? Like who just like kill it. You know, I mean, like even back in the day, you had what's his name? Pujanowski or whatever.
Yeah,
that
Marius
guy's name.
Pujanowski. He's a freak.
Yeah, dude, he was like a freaking monster. You know, like I would watch him like unrack 600 pounds, and what I loved is like you didn't know if he was gonna like OHP it or squat it. You know what I mean? So it's and he was like ripped. But for the most part, the ideas back then were like, yeah, it's just like a super fat obese guy, like, you know, bench pressing like 800 pounds or whatever.
And then like Stan Efferding and Johnny Jackson had like World's Strongest Bodybuilder, and they started to kind of bridge that gap a little bit, I think, too, where it's like, oh no, these people look, you know, have a crazy physique and are very strong, you know, and can squat 900 pounds or whatever it is.
Yeah. Stan Efferding, especially, he was one of the first dudes who, because, you know, I was into bodybuilding. And so whenever Stan Efferding, like I started hearing about him, I started hearing more about the crossover that he had with powerlifting.
Yeah. So obviously you have this training background. You've been doing it yourself. And like, so if someone's listening and I guess they've never seen Dark Iron Gains on Instagram, like how would you describe it to someone what that is?
Because we had this conversation before we even did this. Is we laugh when we have to try to describe Massenomics, and Massenomics isn't that abstract of a thing.
Yeah,
I really want to hear what your summary of Dark Iron Gains
so
is.
when you found my page, what did y'all think when you found?
I found it because my brother tagged me in a few things, and first it was like there were several things he's mentioned. He and we'll get into this too. We'll get into this more, but the music selection was amazing. And then how it was just all these ridiculous, just like early 2000s, like late 90s bodybuilders. And then just like all of this, just the captions, how they were like, so like didn't make any sense at all. So that was, my brother kept taking me in it like, oh man, you got to check this out. And so that's how I got into it. And then I think I started maybe putting you onto it more. Tanner.
Yeah. And like, that was my initial reaction of it, or even some of my residual reaction now is like, most of the posts actually will make me laugh out loud. And a lot of it, it's like, I don't even understand. I so don't understand it that's why it's funny to me. I'm like, I'm not sure what this is based in. And I can't, the reason it's so funny to me is that I can't put my finger on almost any of it.
Yeah. Well, it's the abstract, the absurdity of the abstract that makes that, you know, you just don't know how to react. So your body just like automatically laughs.
Right.
It makes you uncomfortable. It's like a bad date, you know?
Yeah, kind of. Yes. But I mean, so is that how you would describe it then? Did we do an adequate job describing it?
Yeah, that was a pretty adequate job. I'd say it like basically leans more towards, I guess, the like esoteric side of humor. It's not really like I don't know. It's just it's almost like you have to follow the page's lore to really get what I'm talking
absolutely.
about. Like you have to really be in on the joke. Otherwise, you're not going to get the post. But I guess it it has some sort of effect on people because I'm getting new followers all the time, and they don't really. They haven't been following my page since the conception of it. So they're probably just as lost as anyone else.
Yeah. So when did you start the page? Like, how long has it actually been going? Because I see you have like 2,000 posts. Like, you've been doing this a little while, obviously.
Yeah. So I started it honestly. I started it like way back in 2016, and then.
And was it like this from day one?
No. It was like it was kind of like I was just finding shit off of Fit, which is like a board off of 4chan. And so I would just repost the shit off of 4chan that I found that was pertaining to like fitness. And then eventually, I kind of just fell off just because, life stuff, just getting more involved with my career and moving forward and stuff like that. So I kind of forgot about the page. And then I'm trying to think what happened, like why I started picking it back up. But anyways, I started, in like, I guess it was like 2018 or so. No, it was like 2019. I started picking the page back up, and I was like, I guess now from picking the page back up, I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and try and make it a point to at least post something every day. And I'm gonna just do full original content, just because a lot of the content that I wanted to see was really hard to find. So I was like, well, I'll just make it. And so I was like, yeah, if it's,
I would also say that if that's the content you were hoping someone would have, you have a very specific taste that
yeah. So
I'm not surprised no one was making it.
Yeah. So, and the way I looked at it was like, if I think, it's a shit post, then, at least someone out there will probably think it's funny. So I went ahead and just would post whatever, and eventually I kind of caught on to a little bit of a formula, and I've been doing it ever since.
So, I mean, you have like over 100,000 followers on there now, I think. Like, was there ever certain enormous jumps that spawned from something, or has it just been a steady build over time?
It's been a pretty steady drip. I'd say in 2020, I was getting way more followers than usual. And I think that's because the whole, virus ordeal.
Yeah, with everything that's going on. Yeah.
Yeah, more people were at home, and more people were just kind of like chilling, not doing anything, just online. So I think that's where a lot of followers came in 2020. After that, it's still been pretty steady. I mean, I'm still getting decent amount, but it's nothing like it was.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Honestly, like after I hit 10K, like 10K followers, it kind of really blew up.
Oh, we good?
Yeah.
We're just double checking something on our board.
Yeah, the thing turned red, but I think it's saying 3 hours left, not 3 minutes, because it's a minute has gone by and only.
So we can only continue this conversation for 3 more hours.
All right, let's get it in.
So you mentioned, you having your other career outside of this. Like, have you got a ton of followers, a huge following, a lot of people that are super into it, a ton of engagement. Like, have you found a way to like monetize Dark Iron Gains? Do you care about that? Do you not care about that? Like, how do you look at that side of it?
Yeah, there's been a few things I've done. I mean, I don't care too much really about it. I just care enough to make t-shirts and, stuff like that. But, and that's mostly just so like followers can have something to rep it, because people are hyped on following the page or whatever, or, whatever. They just want to buy a cool t-shirt. So I went ahead and I do have some merch, and I'm working on getting more. Actually, I'm talking to a guy who's designing it right now, but I wasn't too concerned with monetization at first. But Instagram offered me like freaking, I don't know, they offered me like this bonus where I was making like money posting reels.
Really?
And it was pretty sweet, man.
How did they contact you?
They just randomly, it sent like a notification. and it said you're eligible for bonuses. And I was like, at first I thought it was a scam. I was like, oh,
Did you
so
think
I'm
it was
gonna
a
get my
federal
password.
agent coming to seize your property?
Yeah, I thought it was the IRS. They're like, we got a bonus for you.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even know
but
that
yeah, so-
existed on
I
Instagram.
didn't either.
yeah, so I didn't either. And I think it was like an exclusive thing for creators. I don't
Yeah.
really know, but they offered it to me, and I was making like $1,000 a month, which is pretty sweet, like
Yeah.
extra cash.
Well, for something you're
Uh,
doing anyways.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, might as well take it. So I did it. And then I guess they just started thinking my stuff was like, I don't know, too crazy or something.
Did they
So
say
they took it
something
away.
to that effect? Did they tell you like, yeah, this doesn't fit our something? Like what
Yeah,
was
it was. You'd get a notification, and it'd say it's similar to YouTube, but instead of like getting like a little like red cash sign or whatever, you would just get like a notification saying that this isn't eligible for monetization. And they started doing that more and more, and then eventually they just totally took away my eligibility. So
Were you
now I'm
thinking
still
like,
posting
did
and
you
all
guys look at any of my content before you asked me this?
yeah, I was like, man, I'm surprised I got away with it as long as I did. So, but yeah, so other than that, I mean, I have like a band that I do that's kind of lifter centered that a lot of my followers listen to.
Is that 10 scoops? Is that
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's 10 scoops.
okay? So, and this was I checked out for like a minute there just because of this.
Yeah.
We had this red dot going on. I didn't know it was so. Okay, yeah, I wanted to talk about then like the music side of things. So, the first 10 scoops. Yeah, explain what that is.
Yeah, so 10 scoops is just like a band I do. And originally we wrote a demo just for fun. Like we legit just showed up to my homie's house, and we just like wrote the songs on the spot and recorded them same day and put them up on Spotify. And people really vibed with them. And I was like, damn, like, maybe I should actually put some effort into this. And so we're working on a new demo now where we've actually, taken some time to write the songs and everything like that. So that's been pretty cool. On Spotify, I've been getting some cash from that, just doing like, the independent releases or whatever. So hopefully that continues to grow.
what's
And,
the vibe of like what's the music that you guys put out?
It's mostly like, I guess you would consider it like death metal-ish sort of.
And so
It's like Godsmack. I'm just kidding. No, it's more like it's like a, I don't even know. It's like just kind of like a heavy sort of band, I guess.
yeah. And do you have a musical background, or what role do you play in the band?
I write I basically write the guitar and the lyrics, and then a homie of mine does drums, and we also have another friend who's a real Cathedral Sound. He's a producer that we know who I've known him for a while, and so he's been producing the new demo, and it's coming out pretty good.
So you obviously have some type of musical background then, right? Like, have you been in other bands or?
Yeah, I was in back in the day, like in high school and stuff. I was like real big into bands and stuff like that. I kind of after high school, I would go to like shows and stuff, but I don't know. It was never really like my scene. I always kind of focused more on like trying to get my career going, and so. But I was involved, kind of heavily for a while, and so I do have a little bit of a background in playing in bands and stuff like that.
Okay. So that's the 10 scoop side of things.
Oh, I have one more thing
okay,
on
go.
10 scoops before we finish. We have a lot of different segments on our podcast, and I've always thought it would be cool if we had because we have buttons on our soundboard where we can play little sound bites. And for like a couple of the segments, what we need is just like a little 5-10 second riff of like just something that's like
intro for
the intro for the segment, like overrated, underrated. We're gonna play that with you later, and like what we really need is like a little 10 scoops.
Yeah.
A little 10 scoops thing that we can play every week where it's like, this is little 10, like your guys' spin on like the overrated, underrated intro. So
Yeah,
you think about that, because then we'll
have to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Snap. All right, maybe we'll work something out. We'll
Yeah.
get I'll listen to it and we'll put something together.
Yeah.
Because we got the soundboard here, with all types of, I gotta hit the button here. We got, we got our sounds on it just loaded, ready to go here
Right.
whenever we need them.
So then we got the little, we got the 10 scoops, the little,
We'll have those queued up. And ready to go.
Dang.
I like it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to write something up for y'all.
Yeah, we'll work something out there. Okay, so then when I think of Dark Iron, like one of the first things that really stood out to me was the music. And I think if I had to remember right, the one my brother first tagged me in it was one of your crazy videos, just whatever's going on. But why you tagged me was because you had a Crystal Castle song playing. And like, do you know, I mean, are you aware of all the songs you're putting in, or is it random?
No, I know. Yeah.
Okay.
I pick every song.
Okay. So do you just have very diverse musical tastes, or like where does the selection come from?
Yeah, I have a pretty, I'd say I have a pretty diverse musical taste. I mean, I've been listening to all sorts of stuff since I was like in high school. I've always been interested in just listening to like different bands. You know, I was really into like Daft Punk and stuff, and so I guess that's where my interest with like Crystal Castles and that sort of stuff comes from.
Yeah. So when did you graduate high school?
2010.
Okay, because I graduated in 2007, and I'm like, a lot of these things kind of align with what I was listening to at the time.
Yeah, 007, dude. Yeah, you're like 3 years ahead of me.
Yeah, so I assumed that I was thinking we were probably roughly the same age, but so yeah, like loving that music. Then I'm like, there has to be a Dark Iron Gains playlist on Spotify, and of course I go on and it was there, and like that's been a lot of times in Massenomics gym. I show up and I get that thing going, and like my workouts.
Dude, that's freaking sick, man.
Yeah, dude. Like I go on and I see, like not only do we go just looking more towards the top of the list, like, all right, so we got some 10 scoops in there. And now that I finally understand what that is, I can focus on that more. And then it's like, we have Cliff Martinez from from Only God Forgives. We have like that. And then we jump to Doja Cat. And then right after that, we have Justice. Like it's just all over the place, and it's so awesome. And I love it. So,
yeah.
And then,
I mean,
that's Death Grips, Kanye West. Like, oh yeah. Then you jump to American Boy with Estelle and Kanye West. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, yeah, like I said, I got a pretty diverse taste. I'll listen to like anything. But since you mentioned it, dude, so y'all's gym is like, how big is it? Is it like bigger than like a corporate gym size or what? Like,
yeah, it's like 4,000 or 5,000 square foot. You know, we've got, 4 squat racks and 3 or 4 benches, combo racks, and we big dumbbell rack. Yeah, I mean it's like, I don't know, it's hard to compare because it's an underground powerlifting style.
Dude.
Like
and
it's
that's
actually
where
like,
that's in
it's literally underground. It's in a basement with no
yeah.
windows and stuff like that.
Dude, that's sick. Is that in South Dakota or
Western Northeast South Dakota is where we're specifically located, if that helps.
Okay, nice. If I ever I have a friend who makes trips kind of up there every so often. So maybe I'll stop by.
Aberdeen is the name of the town that we live in. If you're ever in the area, make sure to let us know, and you gotta
we'll get you in.
We'll hook you up with a discounted rate on a day pass.
Yeah, awesome. I'm a dude. I'll send you guys once 10 Scoops is about to do another release, so I'm gonna try and get you guys a flag or something.
Awesome. Yeah. We'll get
for sure. Yes.
Yeah, and like the thing for the gym too is like it's we have pretty much every we're more into the powerlifting side of things and strongman, but it's got basically every toy, barbell, everything that you could ever want exists down there. So it's
nice.
You can get a good workout.
Do you have shake weights?
Ooh, we don't actually have a shake. We
the
should have
ones
one just for a novelty.
Just the ones that squirt you on the face when you. Okay, but going back, so we got the music side covered. How did just the concept, like the recurring themes that I notice are something along the lines of like the IRS, unpaid taxes, federal agents, and usually it's set to like a bodybuilder posing like sped up. Like, how did that whole like theme come to exist?
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I mean, I've always really been into conspiracies.
Okay.
I'm really big into like watching just like I'll just watch like a YouTube video and kind of zone out. And it's just like, like when I'm driving or something, I'll listen to like a conspiracy podcast. And so that stuff's kind of like, always in my head. And so that's always like, I always think it's kind of funny, like just to think like, oh, what if, this situation, played out this way or whatever. And so I'll just make a caption like that and just have like a jack dude, involved in all of it. It's just because for me, like I've always thought that like the like bodybuilding in general was pretty memeable. I thought it was just like kind of untapped potential.
This really shows that it's very memeable.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I always thought like like to me it's always like I've always thought like they're more like I miss I miss the old school days when like the magazines would hype up the bodybuilders to be these certain kind of like characters almost.
Yeah.
Before social media, and now it's
Yeah.
like you already know what the bodybuilder is. Like he's posting on social media. You already know how he is. Like it's not mysterious anymore. In fact, to be a bodybuilder, you almost have to be successful on social media now. But that's a whole nother thing. But so I've always kind of enjoyed the idea that these bodybuilders are like kind of these characters, like these obscure characters, and so I kind of just insert them. And I thought it'd be funny to like insert them in these like, you know, funny situations. And I guess that's kind of where that came from. The whole sped up thing.
Yeah.
I think I started doing that.
It is funnier
because
like it's not the same without the sped up, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I would do it at first because I would try and make it match the music. Like I would try and make the bodybuilder kind of match the music a little bit. But then it just eventually became, you know, it's funnier to watch a guy like sped up.
Yeah, like because they
it's
go
almost
from
like Benny Hill or whatever. You know, like that, like Monty Python.
Yeah,
sort of, like,
it is.
Yeah, it goes from like the moves being like these really like tough power moves where they're holding it to like it just changes it to almost like this fast dance. Like it makes it seem less macho kind of in a way.
Right.
I mean, it makes it way more funny.
It's almost like they're dancing. It's like, you know, we stumbled on gold with basically just speeding the bodybuilders
up. You also do stick pretty close to like a certain era of bodybuilding, you know, like it
is very much that like that Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman type era for the most part.
Yeah, and I think that's because that's when I really was like really involved with it. You know, I mean, I did get kind of hyped on like the whole aesthetic sort of stuff. So I am like a fan of like Z's and Jeff Side and all that stuff. But for the most part, I stick to my guns when it comes to like, you know, the late 90s, early 2000s. Bodybuilding.
That was
Dorian Yates.
Yeah, and that was like the last time it really felt like it was like this mysterious thing. It was
Yeah, you know, it was like you really didn't get to know the bodybuilders that well. And they would come out with these DVDs and they'd be like, you know, like 7-hour long DVDs, and it'd just be like, you know, it'd be their version of like a vlog, basically, you know. But it'd be like a super long vlog, and you get to see like a peek in their life.
You're spot on with the magazines too, prior to social media, because you know I was a subscriber to Flex and I think Muscle and Development and a few of those, and it was like we were excited about like the next issue and like who's featured
came out and who's featured in their mass gaining program.
The bullshit programs that they said they're all doing and stuff like that. So it just it is so much different than that now. Like those magazines are almost useless, I would assume now compared to
I mean there's only like I don't even think there's many around now. I think like there's like Muscle Sports Mag or something. I don't even know.
Yeah.
Like I don't know any of them. I guess Flex magazine is still out.
Okay. Yeah, it is interesting.
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot. The other thing that really adds to, or that probably catches someone off guard, that's new to the page, is the language that's used in the caps. Not only in your captions, but also in everyone that's leaving comments. They seem to be on using like the correct language and emojis as well.
Like it's very, very an emoji heavy.
I would say caps heavy and emoji heavy.
Yeah. That's just how I talk normally. So I got into the caps thing because you know, I used to be a big fan of Greg Valentino, and so when he would write his articles, he'd type them in all caps, and so I was like, I'm just gonna do that, you know, and so I would write my captions in all caps, and then the emojis I just thought, you know, I would throw them in there. Just because, you know, it helps get the point across.
Greg Valentino.
That's I don't know if you ever saw the man whose arms exploded.
The man whose arms exploded. Okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
The rambling freak.
He was on Chris Bell's documentary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bigger, faster, stronger, or bigger, stronger, faster, whichever that is. But yeah, you had the ridiculous arms that didn't even make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that dude.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
I feel like all the caps and emojis really add to that sense of paranoia that goes on throughout the post too, though. So it works pretty well.
Yeah, it adds a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
So is there lifting or non-lifting, either way, meme accounts that you enjoy following?
Yeah, I follow a good amount of both lifting and non-lifting. one of the ones I really like is there's one called Unironic Ziz Posting, and he posts some pretty funny stuff. His is just like real, like, I don't know. It's just like kind of not very like crazy, but it's just kind of funny to me. And then there's also Limp Bizkit fan. I follow. There's like, I think it's like Limp Bizkit fan 3000 or something.
Okay.
And he just posts like about new metal and death metal and stuff like that. So
that one sounds good.
yeah.
That's good. Let me see if there's any other hard hitters that I got to get on before we jump into overrated, underrated. You've made like what we said, like at least 2,000 posts before. Is there any one or a couple posts that stick out to you that you've made as your favorite ever? Like your
this goes in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, like a short list of like your Mount Rushmore or anything like that of posts, or any one in particular.
Man, I'm sure there is. I'm trying to think.
Or like even your favorite theme or anything like that you're just like every time you do it, you're like, love it.
I used to really like posting about like steroids and stuff, but then Instagram started getting wise to it. So now I have to kind of dog whistle when it comes to anabolics.
So what are the buzzwords? What are the things you can't do that you've picked up on that you can't do?
So if I say like trin, if I say anything about trin, the post gets shadow cucked. If I say anything about, sometimes it even gets me for like Winstrol and stuff, like this, like lesser known stuff. So
are you saying in your caption or in the post or either?
In the post, it's like somehow it like registers in the post. Like last time, it got me because there was a PSA back in the day. You guys have probably seen it with Ben Affleck, where he like freaks out on his mom because he's doing steroids.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so I used that as a meme, and this was maybe like a few months ago, and it said something about like trin or something like that, like when your mom finds like the trin pistol or something like that.
Yeah,
and then like Instagram got me for like trying to sell illegal substances.
Oh,
and I was like, I'm not trying to sell shit. Like, I don't know what the hell, but so they banned it, and then I got shadow banned for a few weeks. So, and that always happens. I noticed that after that, they kind of, I don't know what happened, but they just kind of got wise to what I was doing. And I think that's also about the same time my monetization got taken away. So maybe that correlates somehow. But so when it comes to that stuff, you know, I try to dog whistle more than be more upfront. But I don't know. I'm trying to think, man. I really don't know what favorite subject I have. I just like saying stupid stuff all the time.
I love like the tax evasion stuff like that. I just like that gets me. I'm like,
we were driving. We drove to the Arnold. Was it 3 weeks ago? And it's a very long drive for us. And at one point, I don't know, Dark Iron Gains came up as a subject, and I was just like reading. I was just going through the posts, like some of your more recent ones, and just reading them to Tanner. And there was a few that we were just laughing so hard. Like Tanner hadn't even seen the video yet, and he was already laughing just
because I know the theme. You know, I know the look.
Like you can almost picture like what's going to be
and
when
like,
you see it.
There was somebody I remember it was where like Dorian Yates is out like smoking heaters or whatever. Like I don't really remember.
Can't read.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's Marcus Rule.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There was one about like pinning in the bowling alley, like in front of everyone.
Yeah.
It's just some of those ones are so, or like the one, like me taking one last look at my lawn before the federal agents arrive and seize all my assets.
I'd say, I think the ones that have to do with conspiracies probably I would say is my favorite ones.
I don't like, do you think everyone like, I mean, it's such a weird line to even say "get it." Like, I don't know, "get it" makes sense because I don't know if there is getting it. Like,
like just for example, that one about like, me looking at my lawn before the federal agents, you know, sees it for not paying taxes for 5 years. Like that has 71,000 views and like 15,000 likes. Like that's not a small amount of people, but it's a very specific joke.
Yeah, I guess, you know, it resonates with people. I guess, you know, there's something about government overreach that people just automatically like, you know, disapprove of. So
right. So it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Tommy. What do you think? Overrated,
I
underrated?
think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we alluded it to it earlier. We've got the special game we like to play with every guest, overrated, underrated, and we just have a series of hand-picked dark iron gains topics specifically for you, and we'll fire them over to you, and you have your druthers to answer and elaborate as much or as little as you would like to on each one, but you do have to remember that you have to land either on a firm overrated or underrated. There is no riding the line. So if you are ready to play, we'll get going.
All right, let's do it.
Are the rules clear?
Somewhat.
Okay.
I think I can catch it as I go.
Okay. All right. It's pretty simple. We just like to make a big deal about the rules. Okay. So overrated or underrated, Jay Cutler?
Underrated.
Who is he like in your top 3 of all time?
Yeah, I think so. He's just because his personality. I think he's hilarious.
Where do you stack him next to Ronnie?
I think Ronnie's better than him.
Okay.
For sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, honestly, if Ronnie wasn't competing when Jay was competing, though, like Jay would have just like totally been killing it.
Who's your favorite bodybuilder to use in a meme?
Jay Cutler. Yeah.
Is he actually a funny guy? I don't know much about Jay Cutler, like outside of just him as a bodybuilder. Like, is he a funny guy?
I don't know if he's actually funny, but just like his personality and demeanor to me is just like
and
funny.
his hair in the earlier part of his career was like that alone was humorous.
Yeah. It was like the kid from The Incredibles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So overrated or good answer. Overrated or underrated Daft Punk. We actually had this on the list before you brought them up.
Overrated.
You think so, huh?
Just because the Tron soundtrack wasn't all that.
So you're bringing them down just off of their Tron work?
Yeah, that brings them a couple pegs down.
I feel like as a Daft Punk fan myself, like I'm totally cool just overlooking those Tron. What did they have, like a Tron album and like a remix album or something? Yeah,
it's like a Disney remix, or it's a Disney album, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think it was. Yeah, Tron was through Disney, but yeah. So overrated, you're going with, huh?
Oh yeah, overrated. And then I'm trying to think what else. That song with Pharrell.
Yeah, Get Lucky.
Yeah, that wasn't really the greatest song. I just don't like Pharrell though, so maybe he's overrated.
I mean, I could buy that argument for sure. That Pharrell,
like that song "Happy."
Yeah, God,
I'm the opposite of Happy.
Yeah, that one was overplayed 10 billion times. Like that was way overdone. But
y'all should just play that at the gym, at your gym, like on loop, and see if anyone notices.
One that gets on loop, like people pick up on these things. It's funny to do this shit to people. Like, what's the is it Rob Zombie, Living Dead Girl, or which one?
Because at the gym we have like, it's just, you go up, put whatever you want on the stereo and plug it in. But we have like 5
old
iPods, like iPod Classic, like with the wheel, and then like 3 or 4 of those, and then a couple iPod Touches. And there's one when you click on the Rob Zombie artist list, there's only like 3 songs on the list, and
it's all kind of the same.
And all
song.
the songs kind of do sound the same. So a lot of times it's like Dragula, Living Dead Girl, and like that Never Gonna Stop one. And someone will, like, before they leave, put it on that playlist and leave, and it'll be like 40 minutes.
And you'll be like, wait a second,
I think we've heard these songs like 10 times now.
Yeah.
And then you go look, and it's been cycling 2-3 songs for like an hour.
It's like, I'm pretty sure I deadlifted to Living Dead Girl and then like squatted and benched all to Living Dead Girl.
I PR'd to Living Dead Girl. every lift I PR'd to it. You should do. You guys should play Down with the Sickness on loop. That'd be a good one.
Because some of those iPods are so old. Like there's actually a pretty amazing collection of new metal and like that early 2000s just like overplayed metal
we've
on
done
some of those iPods.
We've done a few specific Down with the Sickness memes, and I feel like there's one that we've done that you could really appreciate where it's do you remember the Chili's I Want My Baby Back ribs commercials
yeah.
where like they're dancing in
Like all the cooks are
all the
dancing.
cooks are dancing in a Chili's and like they're like have enormous smiles on their faces and they're singing that "I Want My Baby Back" song. And we have that. I think the caption is "When Down with the Sickness" comes on for the 10th time at the gym, and it's like it ends with this girl with this enormous shit-eating grin on her face. Like,
yeah, that's actually pretty good.
yeah,
But yeah,
funny.
there are a few of those iPods that have a pretty heavy Disturbed, Godsmack,
AC/DC,
Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of that early.
Dude, so you know that guy Joey Zatz? What do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, we've had him on the podcast.
Yeah. So he posted. Yeah. Man, I can't pronounce his name. It's like Polish or something.
It
crazy
is
thing,
complicated.
Yeah. But he posted the other day mistakes that new beginners. Make.
What
it was
was
like listening to
the second to
Nickelback.
last thing was listening to Nickelback.
Yeah. I was like, dang, that's literally me.
Where does we talk about Nickelback many times here? Like, where do they fit into you?
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I legit like dig Nickelback.
Hey, talking about our trip to the Arnold, we haven't talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah, we actually have not talked about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think what it started was me and my wife, we were driving somewhere, and some Nickelback song came on, and my wife was like, This Is How You Remind Me. And I told my wife, I'm like, you know what? This to me is like peak Nickelback right here. Like, I get it. It's kind of just your average pop rock song, but I think the song came out when I was in like 6th grade, and the song was pretty cool at the time. And I think it holds up okay when you look at it in that time period. But where they got into trouble is they did the same thing like 10,000 times.
Yeah.
And they had all of those ballads come out, like all of those like lame ballads that no one cares about. But so then we're talking about this and we're bringing up their discography on Spotify.
Yeah.
And man, whether you liked them or not, they like ruled the radio for like 10 years. It is kind of insane. It's insane how many songs. Yeah, they did. It's like crazy how many songs they had go big.
Yeah. I think what got me back into Nickelback was the Spider-Man soundtrack, the song Hero. I was like, dang.
No, my brother and I, we always talk about how that song was so funny, especially the video. Is it the guy from Saliva? Is that who's in it with him?
Yeah, he's like doing vocals with him.
Yeah, at some point it's just Chad Kroeger and the Saliva guy just screaming. We're like, whoa, where's all this screaming? They're not even singing; they're just screaming now.
Doing like their Creed scream.
They are.
So this is overrated, underrated. The segment we're in right now, and like my theory that I stick by on Nickelback, like if time is the x-axis and their overrated, underrated is the y, if you picture it that way, as time goes, like starting off before they were hit largely famous, they were probably a little underrated. They were yet to be discovered to a certain point, and there was a period of time there where they were appropriately rated, I feel like, where they were becoming very popular and getting their playtime, and they were coming out with some really good songs. And then towards the latter part of that career, they become extremely overrated, and then all this like Nickelback hate.
Well, yeah, it's like became the meme, like it became the popular thing to hate on them.
Because
we're really sounding
overrated.
like Nickelback apologists right now.
I'm not like, but like that went to such an extreme at this point in time. I think that they're underrated because there is so much Nickelback, like anti-Nickelback stuff out there. I'm like, when we sat and talked about it and we relived some of those songs, I'm like, I don't care. That's kind of a fun song. Like what's the one where
I said Rockstar.
Yeah,
man.
It's
exactly. Self-aware and it's funny. Like
it's funny. Like I think it's funny. And so I think because there's so much like hate on them that they are underrated now.
Yeah, I agree. Underrated. Highly underrated band.
And that wasn't even an underrated overrated
No, that
topic.
was just a bonus. Okay, next one. Overrated, underrated, 5% nutrition.
Underrated.
So could you if anyone isn't familiar with 5% nutrition?
Anyone who isn't familiar, it's Rich Piana's brand. 5% nutrition. And sadly, what I don't like about them is they continue to put him they continue to use him for ads. And I mean, he's been dead since like 2017, which is like
Arnold, his thing was plastered all over his boot. It was like all
that's what we kind of talked about too. It's kind of an odd spot that they're in where they still sort of treat him like the spokesman, but like obviously that's
and it's
not
like,
actually how it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's no other nutrition company that I can think of that like, is still using like a dead guy. I mean, maybe there is, I don't know, but it's like not like 5% nutrition is, but what I think is underrated, dude, is their supplements are pretty legit. Like, I don't know what they're putting in their creatine, but every time I freaking I have their creatine right now, and I'm telling you, every time I take their creatine, like my bench goes up, my squat goes up, like, so I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm putting out a little secret that people shouldn't know about, but
maybe what's his name from Redcon 1 knows what they're
Andrew
putting in.
Singerman, yeah, maybe
he knows
Andrew
what they're putting
Singerman
in
helps with the
creatine.
formula.
He got his,
I was like, dang, I should have been buying some Redcon 1 stuff, man.
Like, damn it.
I planned that all wrong.
Yeah, I'm getting gyno from this freaking protein.
Yes.
So yeah, so I mean, there's every supplement I've had from there is pretty legit,
All right.
but I don't think people realize it.
Yeah. Oh, the crazy thing is the first Arnold we ever went to was like what 2017 maybe. Tanner?
Yeah.
And when
Rich
Rich was there, it was
the line
were like,
for that thing was
oh my god, he was like
out the door,
the star of the show. Like people could not get enough of him. And then slowly through time, like that's definitely got
well, the booth is
pared down a lot.
nothing. Like the booth used to be 100 feet long. Now it's 10 feet
he had
long.
like hundreds, if not 1,000
Right.
people like waiting to take pictures with him.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's not the case.
I saw a video of them at an expo recently, and it was like sad. It was like nobody was there, and the people that were there like were just randos who like weren't there for 5%. They were just for some reason at the 5% booth.
Free samples.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a free sample thing or something. So they
Like,
came over.
Oh, we heard the Dark Iron Gains guys said you guys have the best creatine. And
yeah. This will probably get them a plug. I used to spam them all the time. I used to spam 5% and be like, "Hey, sponsor me! Sponsor me!"
Yeah.
Like when I first hit 10K, I was like, "Sponsor me!" Like let me get some free stuff. But then eventually they were like, "You're not qualified." So I was like, okay. But they let me do a. They let anyone do this, but it's like a little, like you get a discount code. So I have that.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what way are you not qualified? What do they? I mean, I'm like,
You're,
are they not in the business of making
overqualified.
money? Like, I mean, you have a super large engaged audience. That doesn't necessarily make sense, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, whatever.
Yeah. So last one here, and we usually save the best for last. So this one's worth all the marbles. Overrated, underrated, income taxes.
Overrated. Because they tax you on your income, and then they tax you again at the grocery store.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like, how many times are you gonna tax me, bro?
I kind of get that. We don't have, I don't know what state you live in. We don't have a state income tax in South Dakota, which is cool. But I am not against use taxes. Use taxes always make a lot of sense to me. Like slightly less income tax and more like taxing on the things that you want to, that you choose to purchase.
Yeah, I guess that does make more sense. But I think the whole income tax thing is kind of like, I don't know, almost like highway robbery.
Yeah, it's wild, especially.
We're talking about it. It's like, I get it. Like, yeah, okay, taxes.
I think a state tax would make more sense than an income tax. Just because then you're paying for the society you live in.
Like, state income rather than a federal income tax.
Because it's going back into the state. Right. Yeah, it's like, it's almost, so I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's just I'm no like economic, whatever you want to call it, accountant, whatever.
Yeah.
It's
we just like that topic because you got a lot of funny ones about taxes and stuff. So.
Yeah. I just want more money in my pocket. That's
I know.
No, it absolutely. And if you do anything where you're making, where you're not getting paid by an employer, but we talk about it as, if you're an entrepreneur or bringing in money, it's really a different pill to swallow when you get all the money. And then you have to
get rid of it.
Yeah. Then you have to give it back to them.
Yeah. I freaking, so the little bit of money I made on Instagram, I did get taxed on it. And I was like, why even pay me? Like if I'm getting most of it's going back to taxes.
Yep.
It always, it hurts leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Good news. Did he pass? Do you think it looks
did
like he
pass.
passed? Yeah, you passed. So you've got that feather in your
Nice.
cap.
Heck yeah. Gonna wear it proud.
No, that kind of usually brings us to the end, but first we want to give you the opportunity to, anything you want to get out there, like where people find you, all that stuff, any brands or anything like that, 10 scoops, all that stuff, make sure to get it out there.
Yeah, so I have a YouTube channel. I post on it pretty frequently. It's nothing crazy. It's just me basically ranting and working out in my garage. If you search Dark Iron Gains on YouTube, it should come up. And then, of course, on Instagram, dark_iron_gains. And then I have a backup, which is just iron_gains_. And that's also on Instagram. I don't have a Twitter or anything like that.
TikTok?
I do have a TikTok. Yeah, I do have a TikTok. It's Iron Gains on TikTok as well. So you should be able to find me there pretty easily. And then also new 10 scoops coming out pretty soon, hopefully by the end of the month or even early April, if we can manage to get the last couple songs we need to get done. But yeah, so that's coming out pretty soon. So keep a lookout on Spotify for that. And basically that's it.
I'm excited about that, doing a little 10 scoops collab where we can get get a little overrated, underrated music or something like that.
Dude, yeah, we'll definitely. I'll come. I'm recording this weekend. Maybe we can have some. Maybe we'll have some time to throw that in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Be great.
All right, no, that's good stuff. We appreciate having you on. That was fun.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Yeah,
See ya.
see ya.
Cool beans.
Hit him
Tanner.
with the double cool beans there, didn't you?
That was fun.
That was fun.
The ones where it's someone behind an Instagram account are always the biggest wild cards because you never know what you're in for. But they've all turned out to be pretty good.
We've done Immortal
Barbell,
subpar powerlifting memes.
Yes. This one, was there another one?
I thought there was one other one. We did the guy Wes Richardson.
Oh, Snatch and Snacks.
Yeah, Snatch and Snacks. Yeah. He
Yes.
said he was going to be at the Arnold. Did we? I don't think we saw him at the Arnold. I mean, that was a long time ago, but
yeah. I mean, we definitely didn't knowingly see him.
No,
so
no.
we didn't forget anything.
right.
So yeah, we've done 4 of these now. They've all been fun ones.
Yeah, Mr. Dark Iron Gains was, an exceptional guest here. I think that was very fun, very interesting to get a little peek behind the Dark Iron curtain.
Yeah, just a small peek though.
Yeah, yeah.
See, still Mr. Dark Iron Gains. Don't know much about him besides that.
If you're not following Dark Iron Gains, make sure to do it. I mean, if you haven't thought of that by now after listening to this episode, I'm not sure what you've been doing.
If you feel like you think Massenomics has inside jokes,
oof. This
is like the elementary reading level. You're going to graduate to college.
Yeah,
to
a
college
masters
courses.
of inside joke.
Yeah.
So inside that I still would contend that a lot of people that don't even know themselves, they're like, am I in on the joke or not?
Yeah,
I'm
I think
sure.
they just have to be like, I admit I know nothing. And then once you do that, then you're like, I can enjoy all this.
Yeah.
I think that's how it works.
No, that's good stuff.
But it does, a lot of our suspicions were true. That, this guy does like bodybuilding from that era and has a certain musical taste and just likes crazy things.
Yep. What else do we got for this episode on our end, Tommy?
Probably not a ton,
No, I'm just thinking
tomorrow again.
Right. So this is going to come out the last week of March. Then
we got some things restocked recently here.
Yeah. Like basically all of our tees are almost restocked right now, but then Don't Curl in Me flag just came back. Got good stock of those. And then by the time you're hearing this is a big one. The Real Tree camo hats with the blaze orange stitching.
Actually, by the time you're hearing this, those might even be gone.
Yeah,
already.
those are because those have been sold out for a long time. Of supply chain issues, of course, with everything going on. Those are finally going to be back though, with both the Lift logo and the Massenomics Varsity logo.
Those have been gone a long time.
Those have been supply chain issues have been a pain in the ass on those.
We didn't even have those for Black Friday, did we?
No, I don't think so. I don't recall.
Yeah, those have been.
I bet not. We have them back like at the showdown in September.
That's what I was gonna say. We had them then, and then we released them shortly
I don't
after.
think
And
we got them back ever since. But they're finally back.
Those have been a real victim of the supply chain.
Yeah, supply chain hit those real hard, didn't they? Mm-hmm. But tees were pretty good right now for now. Bench in 315. There's just a few sizes left. I think there is large and XL. That being the most common. We do have a few of those left. Numero uno, we've got quite a few of the sizes, but really with both of those shirts, we're not sure what the future is for them. So if you want them, buy it now, because that's not gimmies that we will continue to have those. Those might not be perennial tees that we have forever.
Go back into the vault.
They go back from which they came, the vault.
Cast them into the vault.
Yeah, it's like a Lord of the Rings style casting.
It's just like that.
Yes. Anything else?
Probably about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, if we forget, we'll just talk about it tomorrow, right?
That's true. I was just going to double check.
Or for people listening a week from now.
Just some of the things we'll probably talk about next week's episode. Oh, we save our sack segment for next week's episode. We could save that for next week.
Fine. Okay.
We talk about old videos next week's episode.
We're giving them the rundown.
Just a teaser.
Rundown.
Yeah, just a teaser. I'm excited for this one. I've got a. It's not in here. I have to really look at this. It's not loading up here. I have a little game, a 6-year podcast anniversary game. I hope I don't have to redo that, but if I do, so be it. But it's not popping up on my phone right now.
Okay.
We'll come take a look back on that. And then
because today was technically the 6-year anniversary, we're just going to celebrate it.
Right, tomorrow.
We just observe
or
it.
next week's episode.
We observe it next week.
Right. Well, actually, do you?
Well, technically, we'll just observe it when we feel like that's appropriate.
That's true. We make the rules. It's our show. No, but you guys can't tell us what to do. So if I didn't delete that, we will also play that game.
Perfect.
It's in theory would be a good game.
Yes. Should we read some ads?
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Fusion Sports Performance Supplements.
Ooh.
Do you know what's in your supplements? If you use Fusion Sports Performance, you always will. Fusion SP prides itself on being fully transparent, never using proprietary blends, and always providing its customers with top quality products. They offer 2 pre-workout options with Super Soldier pre-workout and Mad Titan High Stim pre-workout. Both have proven ingredients at their full clinical doses to maximize performance, increase muscular endurance, improve focus, and get you that much sought-after pump. Both are favorites among strength sport athletes. Healing Factor post-workout combines BCAAs with a full serving of creatine monohydrate and other great ingredients to help maximize your efforts in the gym, build muscle, and recover fast. Fusion's whey protein isolate not only tastes great, it also has 27 grams of protein per scoop, 0 fat, and low or no carb options depending on the flavor. It doesn't contain any soy or gluten, and it won't cause any stomach discomfort. Available in vanilla ice cream, chocolate fudge, and frosted cinnamon roll flavors. Most orders are shipped within 1 business day, and every Fusion Sports Performance product comes fully backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Here's the important part. Go to fusionsp.net and use code MASS to save a massive 20% on your order. And last but definitely not least, today's show is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Caps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell, building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe to begin addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he'd ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit texaspowerbars.com.
Thank you, Fusion SP and Texas Power Bars.
Thank you.
2 long time running supporters of the podcast. We appreciate it.
Big supporters.
Thanks again to all of our sponsors, and thanks again to all of our supporting members. You guys are what make this possible. Kind of. I mean, we used to
without
do it
you,
without
we would just still do this, but
not
just not
be
with
compensated for it at all.
you. Yeah.
So it's a lot more fun when we're compensated for it.
Yeah. I mean, we would have a Discord then.
That's true.
A very active one.
It is a really active Discord. Well, should we bring it on in?
Let's bring it on home.
Make sure to leave us a review. Give us a rating on Spotify.
Yeah,
you know,
how we
it's
sitting,
real
how we sitting
simple.
over there? I haven't looked in a while.
It's in the 2s. I want to say it's like 240 on
240?
Spotify. Maybe it's up above that a little bit, but hit us up with a 5-star. If you use Spotify at all, even if you just have the app, go search Massenomics. It's literally like the click of a button. You can leave us a 5-star review on that. So we would appreciate it. Help move
244 5 stars.
Let's get that over 250.
Then we can start the road to 300.
Yep. And then on Apple Podcasts, of course, hit us up with a 5-star review on there. Do whatever it takes to get another review, even if you've already left one. Use someone's phone. If you've been listening for a long time and never left a review, take the couple minutes, go leave us one. It means something. It matters.
To something, to someone, somewhere.
We'll get it read on the podcast eventually. Like there's an immense backlog of those that we haven't that I haven't read, but I think we're on like November of 2021 is where we're at in the timeline. So if you left one around there, yours could be coming soon.
Just you wait.
So yeah, but please leave us a review on there, and then share the podcast. Literally, like, talk to people about it. Tell them to give it a listen if they're into lifting or whatever it is. These things that we do. If you think they're into any of that, make sure to let them know, or share it on your story. If you're listening to the podcast, take a screenshot of that, throw it up in your story, tag us. All that stuff helps.
But probably most importantly, tell a friend and make sure that they make themselves listen to it. Make them listen to it.
Yes. Like sit there and watch them while they listen to a full, like make them start with episode 1 also.
No, maybe don't do that. Maybe it's
like, no, you're doing it.
Maybe
I'm not leaving until you finish this one.
Yeah, I'd maybe start in the multiple hundreds.
Yeah.
Pick a guest you're into. That's a safe spot. Pick a guest you're into. Start the journey there. Then you can hop around, and then you can play the completion game.
Yeah, once you've done that, maybe you listened from 200 on to 312, then you could go back to the beginning.
Then go back to 1. You'll probably actually enjoy it even more that way.
You will, because it's like, whoa, what?
Where did I just
I felt like I knew these
to?
guys. Now I almost don't know
these
them
aren't
again.
Those guys.
Yeah. Or was it that rod?
Oh, that rod over there.
Oh, tell me, where do they find you? Is it down that rod?
Oh, man, I got a cough over here. You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can follow me at Tanner_Baird, but just make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.